Hi everybody, welcome to MathJLab Educare. In this lesson, we are going to talk about successor and predecessor of numbers. First, we talk about successor of a number. The successor of a number is the number that comes immediately after it when we count forward. Mathematically, for any number n, the successor is n plus 1. For example, the successor of 6 is 7, the successor of -3 is -2. The successor of 0 is 1. Now, let us find the successor of a number, using the number line. From the number line we see that, the successor of -1 is 0, the successor of 0 is 1, the successor of 1 is 2 and so on. Here we see that, the successor is on the right side of a number, on the number line. It goes from left to right on the number line. Every number has its successor, except -1 in case of negative number. Now, let us have a look. What is predecessor? Predecessor of a number is the number that comes immediately before it, when we count backward, that is decreasing by 1. Mathematically, for any number n, the predecessor is n minus 1. For example, the predecessor of 5 is 4, the predecessor of -3 is -4, the predecessor of 0 is -1. Let us find the predecessor using the number line. From the number line, we see that the predecessor of 0 is -1, the predecessor of -1 is -2, the predecessor of -2 is -3, and so on. Here we see that the predecessor of number is on the left side of that number. It goes from right to left on the number line. Every natural or whole number does not have its predecessor, but every integer number has its predecessor.
Why every natural or whole number does not has its predecessor? Can you explain it?
Very good question. Let us first start with the whole numbers, whether predecessor exists for all its number. We know that the whole numbers start from 0 and go left to right on the number line. Now, cut out the whole numbers from the number line. And we get the number line of whole numbers. We know that the predecessor of a number is on the left side of that number on the number line. Since the predecessor of a number is on the left of that number, and if we go from right to left on the number line, we get the predecessor of 4, 3, 2, 1, as 3, 2, 1 and 0 respectively. But there is no predecessor of 0 on the number line. Therefore we can say that every whole number has its predecessor except 0. Let us now talk about the predecessor of natural numbers. Look at the number line of whole numbers. If we cut the 0, we get the number line of natural numbers. If we go from right to left on the number line, we get predecessor of 4, 3, 2, as 3, 2, 1 respectively. Here, in case of 1, the predecessor is 0, but 0 is not a natural number. We get 1 minus 1 equals 0, which is whole number, not natural number. Therefore, every natural number has its predecessor, except 1. There is a chart. From this chart, you can easily tell that, whether a successor or predecessor exists for which kind of number.
Yes, it's easy. Successor exists for all numbers except -1, if we consider the negative numbers.
Predecessor exists for all numbers except 1, if we consider the natural numbers, and except 0, if we consider the whole numbers.
Natural numbers and negative numbers do not contain 0.
Excellent, you are absolutely correct. Now it's time for practicing. Let us do some problems. Find the successor and the predecessor of the following integers 0, 5, 11, -1, -7. We know that successor and predecessor exists for all integers. For any number n, the successor is n plus 1. Therefore, for 0, we get 1. For 5, we get 6. For 11, we get 12. For -1, we get 0, and for -7, we get -6 as the successor of the numbers respectively. In case of predecessor, for any number n, the predecessor is n-1. Therefore, for 0, we get -1, for 5, we get 4, for 11, we get 10, for -1, we get -2, for -7, we get -8, as the predecessor of the number respectively. Find the predecessor of the following whole numbers 10, 6, 4 and 0 if exists. Solution. For any number n, the predecessor is n-1. Therefore, for 10, we get 9, for 6, we get 5, for 4, we get 3, as the predecessor of the numbers 10, 6, 4 respectively. But in case of 0, we get -1, which is a negative number, not a whole number. Therefore, whole number 0 doesn't have any predecessor. Find the predecessor of the following natural numbers 12, 9, 5 and 1 if exists. Solution. For any number n, the predecessor is n-1. Therefore, for 12, we get 11, for 9, we get 8, for 5, we get 4, as the predecessor of the number 12, 9 and 5 respectively. But as case of 1, we get 0, which is a whole number, not a natural number. Therefore, natural number 1 doesn't have any predecessor. Find the successor of the following negative numbers -10, -7, -3 and -1 if exists. Solution. For any number n, the successor is n+1. Therefore, for -10, we get -9. For -7, we get -6, for -3, we get -2, as the successor of the numbers respectively. But in case of -1, we get 0, which is a whole number, not a negative number. Therefore, negative number -1 doesn't have any successor. We are at the end of this lesson. Through this lesson, we have learned about successor and predecessor of numbers. Hope, we are coming with a new lesson very soon. Till then, stay tuned and bye.